No, you had the best year in the history of your place. It's a history of, if you look at the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, you never want to say state. Don't ever say state. Actually, nobody cares but them. But, you know, I'm just saying, let's say Pennsylvania. You got two of them. You know that, right? The Commonwealth, the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I went to school here. Probably spent more time here than Sleepy Joe. Pennsylvania, you got two of them. You know that, right? Got two of them. You know that.
Alright. Gonna do an update on, well, not an update, I'm just gonna spit it out there because I want the people to know the truth. On driver's license. No such thing. You go to Pennsylvania, Title 75, Section 102. Does not define a license. It defines a driver's license. A driver's license is a license. But what's a license? Again, we know what a license is. It's permission from the owner. So, for, I'm going to say the state of Pennsylvania, to tell you you have to have a driver's license when they don't own the roads. It's public roads. They don't own it. Just tell them to, you know, show the title, the deed, whatever. But anyway, when you go into 1901, where they do have listed for any fees, vehicle fees, tax, title, all that stuff. Commonwealth and state is two different things. I'm going to mix a video in here with Trump telling you. He was in Pennsylvania speaking, telling you. This is not a state. Stop using that. The state is the government agencies controlling everything. This is the Commonwealth. And again, Title 75, 1901 clearly tells you that they're two different things. This backing up what Trump said and backing up what I say. Okay? But the issue you have here is, and you look under the commercial drivers of federal government, they can't define license neither. There's a reason they don't define license. Because they would have to tell you that you're getting permission from the owner. They don't own it. Okay? And the same thing with Pennsylvania, Section 102. I'll list below a link to the federal section that I'm talking about. Now, a lot of people will sit there and go into commercial and private. There's no such thing for a license. The commercial side of it is your employer. Say J&J Trucking. J&J Trucking wants you, the state wants J&J Trucking to make sure that you know how to operate that vehicle. So you need to be licensed as an occupation. Not as a driver. It's as an occupation. That's your occupation license. No different than a doctor occupation license or a hair cutter. Which I don't agree with that neither because, you know, but the company created that job and the state's forcing the companies, the corporations, to enforce it. So the corporations tell you that you have to have, that they want you to be knowledged by a license. And, you know, that's fine. But for a driver's license in itself, there's no such thing. You have a right to use the roads. There's no such thing. Just go, if you don't believe me, go and look up the license. Driver's license in the state of Pennsylvania is a license. What's a license? They define driver. They can't define license. Really? Come on. There's a reason they don't do that. So, I just gave it up. Like I said, I'm writing a book on that. There's no such thing as a driver's license. The police don't have them. You don't have them. Nobody has them. Because if legislation cannot define what license is, any police officer that pulls you over and asks for a license that they don't even have, they don't have the authority. The only one that has authority to define words is legislation. The executive branch has no authority. Neither does the judicial. So as soon as that police officer pulls you over, just smile, man. Smile. He just acted under color of law. Just by asking. Just by pulling you over. And then asking, you have a driver's license? You can't have one. Legislation never defined it. We're not to assume. That's why they define driver. But yet, they can define driver, but they can't define license. They want you to assume you know what a license is. Like I said, license is multiple different things. An occupation license, a license from Microsoft to use their program. They created that program. The state did not create these roads. They're being paid through tax dollars to maintain the people's roads. We the people, the Commonwealth. And again, this isn't just for Pennsylvania. This applies to a lot of states. I looked it up. They don't have license defined. And if they do have license defined, I think Maryland or one of the states do have license defined. A license is a license. They don't define license. They define license with the license. Everybody's been going down this road for driver and private and commerce, and it's not. The only one that needs a license is corporations. Corporations register with the government for tax purposes. Now the government gets to tell the corporations what to do. When you go get a job at J&J Trucking needs to make sure you know how to operate that vehicle or truck or whatever you want to call it. They need to know that you can operate that. So you have to be licensed by occupation. Not by state, it's by occupation. So, yeah, again, you don't have to believe me. Like I said, you go into traffic courts or whatever, just tell that judge to define what a license is. Say, I don't know what it is. I got a piece of plastic with my picture on it. I got no clue what this is. Well, it's a driver's license. Exactly, it's a driver's license. What's a driver's license? It's a license. So what's a license? Again, it's trickery because they define driver as an occupation, but they don't define license. Like I said, there's a reason for it. Just look up the true definition, the lawful legal definition of license. It's permission to use another's property. If that's the state's property, why are we paying for it? All right, people.
You had the best year in the history of your place. It's a history of, if you look at the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, you never want to say state. Don't ever say state. Actually, nobody cares but them. But, I'm just saying, let's say Pennsylvania. You got two of them. You know that, right? The Commonwealth, the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I went to school here. Probably spent more time here than Sleepy Joe. Pennsylvania, you got two of them. You know that, right? Got two of them. You know that.